Wontumi mean slow. Now problem run Wontumi. Wontumi, mama. Some me knew me a new draw. Yeah. For so that for do it. Now answer me, what me? Say, me buy a year. And a Juma ye, we will push. Ubatimia pushing Wontumi. Now, even illegal, legal, what is the difference? The difference is a document. Sit down. Sit down. Minya Ghana need you. As because I said the one we never have president in T. Minya Ghana need you. Ghana for Musorio. Ghana for Musorio. And before you know Musorio. And before you know Musorio. I am Munti and Mahama MC. And before I am Munti. And Mahama say, this vice president da. Me, my don't board so da. Me, my DCO da. Me, my minister da. Aya chairman na media. And I want to me campaign in mammy. I'm me campaign in mammy party. And I'm a Juma. Sadia, I will say more also with the mammy. My win it, I win it. Young Mahama, only president of Ghana. It's no fire soon. 2013. We are about the boom, Juma. Mubuma Juma, any idea in Yano, Yabaya, no. My Kadibia, and Yabia was a be a Manakai. Mubaya, must top him a Juma, you know. Java.
BC, I'm a new. Back then, we are getting money. Don't worry. I don't want to know that. I will have that. I don't have that.
As we speak now, before we even continue our conversation,
Indeed.
The judgment is already going on. The judge has gone through a summary of all the charges and the count and has started giving her conviction in this matter. As we speak now, he's been convicted of the first count. He's been found guilty of the first count one. Yes. So Chairman Wontumi has been found guilty for count one. The judge is still reading this particular judgment.
Right. So this is offenses of assigning mining license without ministerial approval and purposefully facilitating unlawful mining.
Exactly.
So he's been found guilty on this count.
And he's been found guilty on count 1, 2, and 3. You know, things are happening quickly.
Yeah.
So as and when it comes, we'll update our viewers. So as I said, Chairman Wontumi has been is facing 4 counts. The judge has finished the 4 counts and he's been found guilty of all the 4 counts. So we are waiting. So he's been convicted and found guilty.
Right.
What we now have to wait is for whether what will be the sentence, whether the judge will defer the sentence to another day or will still give her sentence now. We are also waiting to see what happens to the other accused persons and the counts they are facing. But we can say that as we speak now, 4 counts, Chairman Wontumi has been found guilty.
20 years, no? Were you expecting this number of years?
Who would have wished, say, the client ever caught 20 years? Somebody who is unknown to the law. He has never had a previous conviction. He found into Muda, Unjina court to that, Yambon could do that. And the law is right. Say, Ubi I am born could do that, on raining that, young convicting it. Say, a bampo say, court no hitch to you, say, Udifo, at least the court becomes so lenient or good in same emano said the beya nipa ne be reform now share said the court ni gina yitu esiba ye at least that's the full rigors the full armor available to the court no and the court no render man no I don't ni nyina akere say near ye kasa ye bo enyo enema ne biso no no on the face of it no said the one kasa within kaka sentence ni ho asem no it's one of them and enema e course no be ho no so a ye nya edi case na chi na ya case na be do some paper ye nyina so no ye nim de e course harsh and excessive.
We have the Deputy Attorney General. Congratulations, Deputy AG. Some would say that this is a huge victory for the department. Wouldn't you say so? I mean, this has generated a lot of public interest, and I'm sure that there are those who would be applauding you that indeed you have fought a good fight. Is that how you say it?
Let me get to the stage.
All right, the Deputy Attorney General is trying to position himself well so that at least we can get one word from him. I'm sure that is a judgment that excites the department, that at least one victory has come, but it might not just be one that the department would want to keep mute over. Definitely would have to hear from them. But as it stands now, the Deputy EG has declined the invitation to comment on the judgment that has been pronounced and the sentence that has been handed down. Chairman Wontumi.
Wontumi kwaji cocoa road contract or Western region $45 million. Na sabre no cocoa asphalt kra 1 kilometer. Asphalt kra 1 kilometer. Na ye $800,000 USD. Wontumi nkofo bi ye kana city ma sapeti 1 kilometer. Omo de man $1.5 million. Ejuma no waji sika no awanye de wanye de ama ne ho atakoji adwamu a enunti investigative agency for family. A human one or yen the basabasa and answer 1 year. MTC about Emuno. And a chief of staff did directive via by SA. Sikakessia a probate 10 million Ghana cities no. And ma a bagimati Shimuans.
Yeah.
You who ya say Coco Bodo deputy CEO. Bia your friend is it re-anchor? But before Chief Justice, the Chief of Staff directive, no. At transfer Sikano, I got to Wontumi accounts, 50 million Ghana cities, 500 billion. Sikano beto Wontumi accounts, one on what America, echo withdraw 11 billion. And or transfer 39 million. And the call a year or the court treasury bills. And now, or the question insurance company be my friend of Paradise insurance. Not as a one ubi woko board I can a city per se mo a da buying quanta. A buy by no I who sabiano and I freeze the accounts nina. Casamin in your moon so no not want to mean I was one ya buy you matter on your board member. And yet never could do why a ya buy here. The Konifie Kofa, no, the one come over here, Konifie, they go fire. We are no sin China. A choir, a free Sabronuma, I was a Tamwa, they call a year or Feso Abofono.
Okay.
If you watch any wound to make something in Niger, find it, I want to your name. And son, I want to make Galam say, or no one not buying a castle or ye Galam say, Wabra or dead and Yamakuku Tanonimri Forest Reservoir. Na wabra winning cracker would you not walk back as well galam say next all your galam say what to mining act no the bubawa it reach 25 a year
yes
and you say okay can to come and so current and yama won't to fair no nominee bia I say or you be or your mining come for kese it's the wood to me now also say Ghana for sorry no the Ghana for the Only I want to hear the poison with the good mama, a man, no mama, ne, man, so
Emma Ekowa, or Baka na the Ben Nifne, and the Ben Yenny, and the Nayan, so in a wood to be born in I don't know.
But let's listen to one of the lawyers who was in court today, just to appreciate what he makes of this particular process.
We are around that. Because, yes, I do appreciate that, yes, there are situations where the veil of incorporation could be lifted and directors could be held responsible. It is not in all situations that those things are applicable. So I'm sure it's an area his lawyers would have to look at and see if it will open up some areas of appeal for him. But I'm a bit worried and a bit sad.
20 years for an offense that the minimum is 15, maximum 25. The judge, I think, might have listened to your plea, don't you believe?
Probably she did, probably she did not. Because I was of the view that the minimum sentence was okay. Because I made a point that getting Wontumi out of the picture, that is incarcerating him, may affect a lot of things, especially his businesses, the number of people he employs and all that. So that was the appeal I was making to the court, that yes, the court has come to the conclusion and convicted Mr. Wontumi for all the offences. But in terms of the sentences, I mean, the court ought to consider his significance in society, especially the chain of businesses he owns. And I also made the point that currently we are struggling with a lot of youth employment. And if the court itself has established that Mr. Wontumi is the directing minds of all his businesses, it means it's very crucial to his businesses. So getting him away from his businesses in giving him such long sentence may negatively impact on the businesses and the young people who get jobs through his businesses and all that. They'll come onto the streets as unemployed, adding to the huge numbers who are already on the streets with no employment. So that was the appeal I made to the court, that the court should consider this particular circumstance of Mr. Wontumi and probably give him the barest minimum of sentence. That was what I did. I don't know.
The argument that it should be as a deterrent sentence to persons, especially the fight against illegal
considering
mining.
the way
you see, I am not in any way encouraging anybody to go into illegal mining. And for me, the point I was making is that, yes, Mr. Wontumi may have committed the offense, but it was the bigger picture I was looking at, because he was going to be sentenced anyway. So my mitigation was to reduce the sentence, that's all. It's not to put in a defense for whatever he might have done or not. Exactly.
What is your relationship with Wontumi?
I thought he would have been given the barest minimum.
What is your relationship?
I don't know him from anywhere.
Wontumi?
Probably we just share a name. I'm Bernard, he's Bernard. I have no relationship with Mr. Wontumi. Maybe because he's my namesake. But I only felt that as a lawyer, these things happen. It's not because it's Mr. Wontumi. There are times when you are in court and you feel like you need to probably intervene as a friend of the court. That is something we do out of ordinary practice. It is not because it was Mr. Wontumi. We have done this several times where we believe that we need to add our voice in mitigation. Remember, it is not against the conviction. It was just to intervene with the number of years he was going to be given. So it was against the sentencing that we were trying to mitigate, that the court should give him the barest minimum. It was not against his conviction. So it is not as if I did that to probably encourage illegal mining. No. It was just for the courts to understand that Mr. Wontumi is just not like you and myself. He owns a lot of businesses. So the court, I don't know if she considered that, but well, I'm sure his lawyers would advise him accordingly.